hadn't seen Eric in 6 years. Not since college. Not since, well, that night. When he texted me out of the blue. Hey, want to get out of the city for a bit? I hesitated. But I still had his number saved. Still remembered the sound of his laugh. And still remembered what it felt like to wake up next to him and pretend it hadn't happened. So I said yes. He picked me up just like old times, in that rusty old Jeep with the broken AUX port. Same messy hair, same damn smirk. The plan was simple. 2 nights at his uncle's cabin by the lake. No reception, no distractions. Just catching up. The drive took 4 hours. We talked about everything and nothing: work, failed relationships, the weird TikTok algorithm. He didn't mention what had happened between us. Neither did I. But it was there, in the silence between songs. The cabin was small, quiet, and cold inside. 1 bedroom, 1 bed. He threw his bag on the couch like it was no big deal. You can take the bed, he said. You're not sleeping on that thing. He shrugged. We've shared before. I looked at him, searching for a trace of sarcasm. There wasn't any. Later, we sat outside by the fire pit with 2 beers and a sky full of stars. He was always good at being quiet. Not awkward, just comfortable. Eventually he said, "Remember junior year?" I nodded. "That night wasn't nothing to me," he said. "I just didn't know how to deal with it." Neither did I. That night we kissed. We did more than kiss. We were drunk. He was confused. And in the morning we never spoke about it again. Until now. "I thought I imagined it meant something to you," I said. It did. There was a long pause. I could hear the fire crackle. The sound of a loon on the water. "You know," he continued, "I've dated women. I've slept with more than I want to admit. But I haven't stopped thinking about you. Especially in places like this. Why didn't you ever call?" "Because I was scared. Of what it would mean. Of what I might lose." He turned toward me. His face lit softly by the fire. "But I'm done running from it." And then he kissed me. Soft, sure, and nothing like that first time. This time he wasn't drunk. Neither was I. And there was no panic the morning after. Just him, asleep beside me. 1 arm draped over my chest, breathing steady and calm. The next day we didn't talk much about the kiss. Or the night. We didn't need to. We cooked breakfast. We took the canoe out. We just were. It was the kind of peace I hadn't known I'd been missing. When we packed up to leave, he said, "Next weekend. Same place?" I laughed. "If the bed's still mine." He winked. "Maybe this time we'll actually share it." I didn't mean to fall for him. Honestly, I was just trying to pass calculus. I was a communications major, words, essays, presentations. Math was the enemy. But it was a required course and I was failing hard. My professor gave me one option. Find a tutor or retake the class next year. So I posted a flyer around campus. Simple, desperate. "Help. I'm drowning in math. We'll pay in coffee or cash. Or both." That's how I met Nathan. He was a math major. Quiet, glasses, sleeves always pushed up to the elbow. He texted me 2 hours after I hung the flyer. "I'm free Tuesdays and Thursdays. Coffee preferred over cash." Our first session was in the library. I expected awkwardness, maybe a guy who'd talk down to me. But Nathan was patient, kind, dry sense of humor, and kind of stupidly good-looking in that soft, understated way. The kind of guy you don't notice right away, but once you do, you can't stop. The tutoring started off normal. Mostly. But then one Thursday, I forgot my pencil and he pulled one from behind his ear. I joked that he looked like a sexy professor, and his ears went pink. He didn't say anything, just smiled. After that, the tension grew, quiet but obvious. Our chairs got closer. His hand lingered when he pointed at my notebook. He started waiting for me after class. We weren't just studying anymore. We were becoming something else. One night, we ended up at my place after a late session. It was raining. We were soaked, laughing. I handed him a hoodie from my drawer, too big for him, and he looked up at me, serious all of a sudden. "Why do you look at me like that?" he asked. I froze. "Like what?" "Like you're not sure if you're allowed to." My heart was in my throat. I told him the truth. Because I want to. A lot. But I don't know if I'm reading this wrong. He stepped closer. You're not. And he kissed me. Soft at first. Gentle. But it deepened quickly. Weeks of tension melting away in a single breath. His hands in my hair, mine on his hips. It was electric and quiet and everything I didn't know I needed. We spent the night together. Not in a hurry, not reckless. Just close. He stayed until morning, sleeping with his head on my chest. Our legs tangled in my sheets. I didn't fail calculus. In fact, I passed with a B+. But that's not the part one remember. What I remember is how Nathan laughed when I told him. How he kissed me in the middle of the quad after our final exam. How we walked back to the library one last time, not to study, but just to be there. Together. Years later, I still can't look at a math textbook without smiling. Because I didn't just survive calculus. I found him. The rival, a gay love story. We hated each other. At least I thought we did. Liam was the golden boy of the debate team. Always perfectly dressed. Always ready with a clever insult. And always just a little too smug when he won. And he won. A lot. I was the only one who could keep up with him. And that made us rivals from day one. We never actually fought. Not openly. But every meeting, every practice round, every competition, we went for blood. We challenged every word the other said. We competed like our lives depended on it. But we needed each other. We were the strongest pair on the team. We balanced each other. Where I was fiery, he was precise. Where I improvised, he calculated. And then, of course, we were paired for regionals. We spent every afternoon together for 2 weeks. In the same cramped study room. Sharing notes. Arguing over strategy. Eating cold sandwiches in silence. Somewhere in there, something shifted. I caught myself watching him when he was explaining a point. Not his argument, him. His lips. The way his eyebrows furrowed when he was focused. The way his voice softened when he got tired. Then one night, after a long session, we both just stopped. I was lying on the floor. He was on the couch, flipping through his binder. You're not as annoying as you used to be, he said. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. He laughed. And for the first time, it wasn't sarcastic. There was a pause. That kind of pause where you both know something's hanging in the air, waiting to be said. Do you ever think, he said slowly, that maybe we were never really rivals? What were we then? I think we were just scared of liking each other. I sat up. He looked nervous. For once, he didn't have the perfect words. So I gave them to him. I'm not scared now. That was all it took. He leaned down, kissed me like he'd wanted to for months. And maybe I had too. It wasn't fireworks. It wasn't slow motion. It was real. Honest. A little clumsy. A little perfect. We didn't tell anyone at first. We still bickered at practice. Still teased each other in public. But after the meetings, when the others left, we'd linger. Share headphones. Steal kisses behind bookshelves. We won regionals. And after the final round, when they called our names, he grabbed my hand. In front of everyone. No one said a word. They just smiled. Liam still annoys me. Still corrects my grammar. Still leaves passive-aggressive notes in the group chat. But now he also holds my hand under the table. Wakes me up with coffee on Saturday mornings. Tells me he's proud of me even when I lose. We were never enemies. We were just waiting for the right debate to end.